Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going to be looking at building digital and technological resilience.
Okay.
It's Chapter 7 from the Resilient Futures Handbook in W1. It is so fascinating. I think we often overlook this.
Yeah.
When we think about resilience, we think about like stocking up on supplies or having a plan for natural disasters.
Right.
But we don't always think about digital resilience, and
Yeah.
this handbook really digs into that.
That's a good point.
So,
Yeah.
are you ready to kind of decode the digital future with me?
Let's do it.
Okay, awesome. So the chapter kicks off with cybersecurity preparedness. And, this isn't just about like protecting your devices.
Right.
It's about protecting your life
Yeah.
in an increasingly digital world.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of people don't realize just how interconnected everything is. Our critical infrastructure,
Right.
power grids, healthcare systems, financial institutions, all of that is interconnected. And a cyber attack on one really trigger a domino effect.
It's true. I never really thought about it that way.
Yeah. But I mean, like, imagine a cyber attack on like an energy grid that leads to blackouts that impact hospitals
Exactly.
or transportation systems.
It can happen.
Yeah, that is a very scary thought.
Yeah. And then, of course, you have the more, personal threats as well, like identity theft,
Right.
having your bank account hacked
Yeah, it seems like we hear about data breaches and
all the time.
ransomware attacks all the time.
Yeah. And those threats, they're constantly evolving. So it's really important to kind of stay informed and understand, the different types of threats.
Right. So, like, how do we protect ourselves? Like, what can we actually do to boost our cybersecurity?
Well, the handbook has some really great tips. And a lot of it comes down to, forming good digital habits.
Okay.
Strong, unique passwords are a must.
So, like, different passwords for every single account.
Absolutely.
I hate that.
I know it's a pain, but
Right.
it's really important.
Yeah.
And, using a password manager
Okay.
can help with that.
That's true. It can generate and store those complex passwords for you. Exactly. So you don't have to remember them all.
Okay. That makes sense. That takes the pressure off.
It does. Another essential tip is enabling two-factor authentication wherever possible.
Oh, yeah.
That extra layer of security can really make a difference.
For sure.
And of course, keeping your software and apps updated.
Oh, yeah. I hate doing that.
I know, but those updates, they often include crucial security patches.
Okay. So it's like making sure the doors and windows of your digital life
Yeah.
are locked and bolted.
Exactly. You also can't forget about firewalls and antivirus protection. They act as your first line of defense against malware.
And always being cautious of suspicious links and attachments.
Yes, don't click on anything that seems fishy.
Don't do it.
And double check website security before entering any personal information.
Like that little padlock icon in the address bar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And be mindful of how much personal information you're
Yeah.
sharing online.
Less is more.
The less you share, the less there is to exploit.
True. So it sounds like it's a mix of being proactive and being cautious.
Exactly. Digital resilience also means having a plan. Regularly back up your data, have an incident response plan in case of a cyber attack, and consider cybersecurity awareness training.
Okay.
It's about being prepared for the unexpected.
So we talk about cybersecurity, which is clearly a huge part of digital resilience.
Right.
But the handbook also kind of delves into the digital divide, right?
It does. Digital inequality is a major issue that can really undermine resilience for a significant portion of the population.
That's true.
And it's not just about having access to devices and the internet, it's also about digital literacy.
Right.
Having the skills.
Because what good is having a computer
Is
if you don't know how to use it? Think about something like online education, which has become so essential for so many people. But if you lack basic computer skills or even know how to navigate the internet, you're missing out on a world of opportunities.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that exclusion can have ripple effects on everything from job opportunities to healthcare access to even just staying connected with loved ones.
Right.
It's about being able to fully participate in today's digital world.
So how do we bridge this digital gap? Like, does the handbook offer any solutions?
It does. It suggests a multi-pronged approach. You know, we need to invest in digital literacy programs, not just for kids,
Right.
for all ages and skill levels.
Yeah.
And these programs need to be accessible and relevant to everyone.
And of course, like, the internet itself needs to be affordable.
Exactly.
What good is having a computer if you can't even afford to get online?
Right. The handbook also talks about establishing community-based digital learning centers,
Okay.
places where people can learn and practice digital skills. in a supportive environment.
That's a great idea.
And it emphasizes the potential of remote work and digital freelancing.
Because even if you live in a rural area
Yeah.
or lack traditional job opportunities,
Right.
having those digital skills can open up so many possibilities.
Exactly.
You can work from anywhere,
Yeah.
connect with clients globally. It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
It is. And we can't forget about addressing other barriers as well. Things like language differences and ensuring technology is accessible for people with disabilities.
It's about making sure everyone has the opportunity to participate in the digital world.
Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about the flip side of this.
Okay.
How technology can actually be a powerful tool for building resilience in other areas of our lives.
I like that.
It's not just about defending ourselves. It's about using tech to make us stronger.
Okay. I'm intrigued. What kind of tools are we talking about?
Well, technology can be used to predict risks, enhance communication, and empower individuals with knowledge and resources.
Give me some examples.
Okay, think about early warning systems for natural disasters.
Okay.
We now have sophisticated systems that can send alerts to our phones about impending hurricanes, earthquakes, even wildfires. That kind of information can be life-saving.
That's incredible. And I know telehealth has been a game changer.
Absolutely.
Especially for people in rural areas or those who have difficulty accessing traditional health care.
It has being able to consult with doctors, remotely get diagnoses, even receive treatment.
It's amazing.
It's amazing how technology is transforming healthcare. And the handbook also highlights tools like community risk mapping, which helps communities identify hazards and plan for potential disasters.
So it's about using technology to make more informed decisions and be better prepared.
Exactly. And it goes beyond disaster preparedness.
Yeah.
Technology can also be a powerful tool for promoting sustainable living.
Okay.
Things like smart home systems that help us conserve energy and water.
I love it.
Platforms that help us track our resource consumption. And of course, renewable energy solutions.
It's amazing how technology can be used to create a more sustainable and resilient future. And it seems like this chapter really emphasizes that technology itself isn't the problem. It's how we choose to use it.
Exactly.
We have the power to harness technology for good, to make our lives and communities safer, more connected, and more resilient.
Absolutely. And that brings us to the heart of this whole discussion. What can you, our listener, do to build your own digital and technological resilience? What steps can you take today to protect yourself online, bridge the digital divide in your community, and leverage technology to create a more resilient future for yourself and those around you?
That's a great question. We'll explore those questions in more depth in the next part of our deep dive. So we just went deep on cybersecurity and tackled the digital divide, two huge parts of building digital resilience. What are your thoughts so far?
You know, it's amazing how interconnected those issues are. We can't really talk about one without the other. The society can't be digitally resilient if a big chunk of the population doesn't have access to technology or the skills to use it safely and effectively.
It's like building a house with only half the foundation.
Exactly.
You know, it's just not going to be very resilient. So we've got to bolster that cybersecurity while also bridging that digital gap.
Right.
But this chapter isn't all doom and gloom, right?
No, not at all.
There's a whole section about how technology can actually make us more resilient. That's what really got me excited about this.
Yeah, that's what's so fascinating about this topic. Technology can be both the problem and the solution.
Right.
And this handbook does a great job of kind of showcasing how we can use technology to make a more resilient future.
So what are some of those highlights for you? What really stood out in terms of leveraging technology for resilience?
Well, one area that really resonated with me is the use of technology for early warning systems.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we now have these really sophisticated systems that can alert us about severe weather events, natural disasters, even potential cyber attacks.
That's so cool.
Yeah, this kind of information is so valuable in helping individuals and communities prepare and respond to these things more effectively.
Think about those apps that send you an alert.
Yeah.
If there's like a flash flood warning or a tornado coming your way.
Exactly.
Like that real-time information
Yeah.
can make a huge difference in staying safe.
Absolutely. And let's not forget about telehealth.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Which has honestly been a lifeline for a lot of people, especially those in rural communities or folks who have mobility issues.
Right.
Being able to connect with doctors remotely, get diagnoses, even receive treatment. It's really amazing how technology is breaking down barriers to healthcare.
It's like having a doctor in your pocket.
Yeah.
And speaking of transforming healthcare, the handbook also talks about how technology can help develop new treatments and make medical breakthroughs.
Yeah.
Think about all the advances in personalized medicine, gene editing, and even using AI to diagnose diseases earlier and more accurately.
It's really incredible. And it's not just about living longer, it's about improving quality of life for so many people.
So we've got early warning systems and telehealth.
Yeah.
Both really awesome examples of how technology can make us more resilient. What else does the handbook mention?
Well, it also talks about the power of technology for communication and information sharing, especially during emergencies. Social media, for instance, can be really powerful for coordinating relief efforts, sharing updates, and connecting people with the resources they need.
Think about the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. People were using social media to find missing loved ones and to organize donations.
Yeah, it really showed how powerful technology can be for connecting people in times of crisis.
For sure, but it's also important to remember that social media can be a double-edged sword.
Absolutely.
Misinformation can spread just as quickly as good information. So you really got to be careful about what you see and read and double-check anything before you share it.
Always fact-check those viral posts.
Yes, exactly. But it's not just about reacting to emergencies, right? Technology can also help us reduce risk and prevent disasters.
That's a good point.
From even happening. Like those sophisticated weather forecasting models.
Yeah.
That help us prepare for hurricanes and other extreme weather.
Exactly.
Or using sensors and data to monitor infrastructure for weaknesses before they turn into major problems.
It's like having a crystal ball that lets us see potential problems and address them before they become full-blown disasters.
And of course, we can't forget about technology and sustainable living.
Oh, absolutely.
The handbook goes into a lot of detail about how technology can help us conserve resources, reduce waste, and transition to a more circular economy.
Right.
Smart home systems that can help us use less energy and water, apps that help us track our carbon footprint, platforms that connect us with local recycling and composting.
Those are all fantastic examples.
It feels like we're finally starting to use technology to create a more sustainable and eco-conscious world. And it's not just about what individuals do, it's about businesses and governments adopting these technologies and policies that really promote sustainability.
That's right. It's got to be a collective effort. But the handbook also makes a really important point.
Okay.
Technology itself isn't some magic solution. It's a tool. And like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad.
So it comes down to how we use it.
Exactly. We have to be aware of the potential downsides of technology. Things like privacy issues, the spread of misinformation, and becoming too reliant on tech. But at the same time, we got to harness its power to create a more resilient and equitable world.
It's a delicate balance to strike.
Yeah.
But I think this chapter really does leave us with a sense of hope. Technology has the power to make us more resilient, more connected, and better prepared for the challenges ahead.
I agree. It's a really exciting time to be alive, to see how technology is evolving and how we can use it to create a better future.
Absolutely. But let's not forget that technology is only one part of this. Building true resilience means taking a holistic approach.
That's right.
We also need to think about our physical preparedness, our mental and emotional well-being, and the strength of our communities.
That's a really important point. Those aspects of resilience are just as important as our digital savviness.
And that's what we're going to explore in the next part of our deep dive. We'll delve into the human side of resilience, the importance of community, and how we can develop the right mindset to not just survive, but thrive in the face of challenges.
Okay.
So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive on digital and technological resilience.
We have.
From cybersecurity to the digital divide, and using tech to build a more sustainable future. What are your final thoughts?
Well, it's clear that digital resilience isn't just a one-time thing. It's an ongoing journey.
Right.
It's about constantly learning, adapting, and embracing new technologies and being prepared for whatever challenges come up.
It's like we're all figuring out this new digital landscape together.
Exactly.
So for our listeners, what's the key takeaway here? What should they remember as they kind of start their own journey towards digital resilience?
I think the most important thing is to remember that digital resilience isn't just about what you do. It's a collective responsibility.
Okay.
We all have a part to play in making the digital world more secure and equitable for everyone.
So it's not just about protecting yourself. It's about helping others, supporting digital literacy programs, and advocating for policies that promote digital inclusion,
Yeah, exactly.
cybersecurity for all.
We need to move away from that every man for himself mentality and work together to create a better digital world.
I love that. And it's so true. We're all in this together. Building resilience isn't just about surviving. It's about thriving as a community. It's about using our knowledge and resources to create a better future for everyone.
Absolutely. And that future is being shaped right now by the choices we make, the actions we take, and the technology we develop.
That's a great point.
So I would encourage everyone listening to be informed, be engaged, and be proactive in creating the kind of digital world you want to live in.
What a fantastic message. And on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive into building digital and technological resilience. Thank you so much for joining us.
It was a pleasure.
We hope you found this exploration informative and empowering, and that you feel inspired to take action. Remember, even small steps can make a big difference. So what will yours be? Thanks again for joining us on the Deep Dive.